Shalom, brothers. Welcome to another edition of the live show. I'm Priest Taza Dakbar. To my left is
not Zakba.
Behind me.
Soccer Run.
To the left is Soccer Run. Right. So basically, you know, we're coming on tonight because something was brought to our attention, my attention yesterday, and some of these brothers' attention today. This thing that's on the internet with this nigger, this demon, bubble-eyed blackfish. First of all, fuck you anyway. All right, because this thing is about edifying the brothers that are out there, and this demon got some show up there where he's confusing these brothers about the salvation of the kingdom, saying that the Edomites are the ones that can be saved, which is total bullshit. Now we're just gonna go right into the scriptures on it, and wherever the Spirit takes it is where it's gonna go. And first scripture, somebody give me Malachi the first chapter. Somebody give me Job 9:24. Somebody else give me Proverbs 12 and 26.
I got Proverbs 12.
All right. Now, one of the main thing that this nigga said, basically paraphrasing it, one thing he said is the white man the devil? Yeah, the white man is the devil, nigga. So he was getting on this young dude saying, well, show me a scripture that says the white man is the devil. There is no scripture there that says the white man is the devil, you dummy. If there was actually a scripture written that said the white man is the devil, this devil would have burnt the Bibles up a long time ago. Right. Man. You're a complete fucking idiot, man. Bubble Eyes. You're a complete idiot. The Most High had the prophets, gave them the inspiration to write this thing in code and put it in a puzzle form, where you would have to connect the dots of the puzzle to figure out what's going on. Malachi, who got that?
I got Malachi.
Rocket.
Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
Right, the Lord said they shall build, but I will throw down. And that's in this day and time we're in right now. These devils are still trying to build up cities, build up different economies, but guess what? The Lord is going to throw down. That's why the economy of America is being thrown down the fucking shitter as we speak. Even though it's the elites that's doing it, but the Most High is putting the spirit on the elites to do it. Go ahead.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
Now the scriptures say, wherever you damn Edomites is at, is going to be known as the border of wickedness. In other words, you goddamn devils, you so-called white people, you are the wicked that the Bible is speaking about. Go ahead, brother. Read that again and read down.
Right. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever.
Right. The border of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation, which is righteous anger forever. So how the hell is you fucking so-called white people going to make it into the Lord's kingdom? How the hell are you going to make it into the kingdom when the Lord, first of all, you're the wicked in the borders of wickedness. Whatever borders you're within, there's nothing but wickedness going on.
America was their kingdom of heaven.
Like Elder Sakaran said, America is your kingdom of heaven. England is your kingdom of heaven. Everywhere that you devils run and control is your kingdom of heaven. Look how you devils are living, man. You're in your kingdom of heaven. So what? The lower level crackers among you ain't got shit. That's your fucking problem, man. You damn two-time losers.
But you know what? That's now. When it first began America, you know, going back to the 1600s,
right? And
they had us in slavery. There wasn't really. I mean, like the least of them crackers had slaves. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Even
and if they didn't have slaves, they were working for plantation owners that were keeping them in, putting them up in good quarters, not slave quarters, good quarters where they got good meals,
right? And
had fucking bed wenches delivered to them daily.
Yep.
At their every whim.
They were indentured servants.
I mean, don't forget about they'll tell little Jake to lay down on his back and then put their feet on him.
Yep.
Don't forget about that to heal any illnesses and diseases.
Rheumatism.
Right. Now why would they do that? You know why they did that? Because they knew that they had the Israelites, the holy people, in captivity. And that virtue came out of Israel.
That's right.
Came out of Jacob.
That's right.
Just like that woman with the issue. Was it the issue that touched Yahweh's garment?
Right. He said, "Who have touched me?"
And there was garment.
Right. He said, "Who have touched me?"
And there was like a whole bunch of people. And Scripture said a whole bunch of people a multitude thronged him. You know what I mean? In other words, they were on him, a mob on Yahweh. This woman reached and touched him, touched only his garment, and she was healed. And he said, I perceive that virtue has left me. Who has touched me? And one of the disciples said, Lord, would you say someone has touched you? And a throng is a mob is pressing up upon you? But nevertheless, he felt that woman take that spiritual power from him, man.
Right.
So that's why. Why do you think these heathens, especially a white man, always like when they talk to Jake, they always like to touch Jake.
Exactly.
They always like it's like a you know, like they know, you know.
They want that.
Now, if they don't know mentally what they're doing, their spirit knows what it's doing, and it's taking the virtue out of Jake for themselves, trying to get that blessing, but they can never get that blessing. The scriptures say, though Esau sought that blessing carefully with tears, still the Lord won't give him that birthright.
And that's Hebrews 12, what this brother is talking about. That's another scripture. Somebody get that real quick, and then we're going to go back into these other scriptures. Get that real quick since that brother mentioned that, Hebrews 12 and 16. How the hell you going to sit here and say that these devils is going to make it into the kingdom? First of all, they're going to be in the kingdom in the capacity of a goddamn slave. And this dude is a mangler, man. This dude was mangling the scriptures, man. Straight up mangling them. But you know what? We're going to unmangle them right now, though. Yep. We're going to unmangle it. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Right. Well, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Because you damn devils, you don't hold nothing sacred and nothing holy. You goddamn pieces of shit.
Antiochus Epiphanes.
Like this brother said, Antiochus Epiphanes. The fourth.
And slacky, brother. And what does the word profane mean? See, that motherfucker, you got niggas out there, you idiots, and you bubble-eyed black snake, black fish, as the elders call you. Nigga, you were supposed to be a scholar. What does the word profane mean? We know you don't know, but we're going to tell you the word profane comes from the Latin profanus, meaning what? Outside of the temple. All right? So meaning what? Esau is outside of the temple. Going back to Revelation, the 11th chapter.
That's right.
Breaks it down, man. In other words, they ain't got a part in coming to the temple, man. The temple was only really admitted for the priests, which all of Israel are now a nation of priests.
Exactly.
Not the other nations, man. The Most High ain't never dealt with the other nations. That's just common sense.
Like this brother said, Revelation 11, paraphrasing it real quick, it said you had the inner court, which was for Israel, and the outer court belongeth unto the Gentiles.
Yep.
In the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. So what is that talking about? That ain't talking about them getting no salvation. That was talking about them treading us underfoot, and we're still being treaded underfoot right now. But that's almost over with. But read that in Hebrews again.
It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
So that low-life piece of shit Esau sold his birthright for one morsel of meat. Because he was a goddamn piece of shit. He didn't hold nothing holy and tried and true. Read on.
For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
Right. He was rejected. And not only him, his whole seed was rejected. When the promise was given to Abraham, it passed to Isaac. From Isaac, it passed to Jacob. And where did it rest? On the 12 sons. Not just those 12 sons that were born back then. Not just the 12 patriarchs right there in the beginning. But their descendants after them. So that thing with Esau rested on their descendants, on him and his descendants, that anybody that came out of Esau's nutsack. You dumb, stupid ass nigga. You gonna teach them. Then there's another thing this nigga said, because I was watching that bullshit. He said, number one, he said, is the white man the devil? Yeah, he is. Another thing he says is you can't make a doctrine calling the white man the devil.
Tell us the name of that video.
The name of the video is called what is it called? It's called
Nation of Israel.
it's on a site called the Nation of Israel.
Reasoning
With the bubble-eyed blackfish and his
retarded doctrine.
And his retarded doctrine or something like that. Or
something like that.
yeah, it's his crazy doctrine or some shit. Like you could put reasoning with bubble eyes and it should pop up.
Yeah, you brothers will find it. And basically, that dude is a fucking clown.
He's a demon.
He's a demon.
A demon.
He's a devil.
He's a serpent.
He's a charlatan.
He's a charlatan.
Ricard called it charlatan.
He don't know these scriptures or whatever. Hey, the brother was dealing with him. The brother's a younger brother or whatever, you know. But he didn't want the brother to say nothing because why? The brother was gonna cut him with the scriptures.
I got scripture.
And he would not deal with the elders. You definitely ain't gonna deal with Elder Tahar, Elder Gabor, Elder Ricard, Elder Aramla, or none of us brothers back here, or the brothers in other camp, man.
But he couldn't do that. He kept trying to override him and overspeak him.
And down talk him.
And if you look at it, and in certain other brothers, and that's why brothers they swarm like killer bees on that nigga, man. On that, cause you teaching bullshit, nigga.
Yeah.
And it looked like you about to have a stroke, man.
Your eyes were about to pop out your fucking
eyes,
yeah. Fucking black puffer fish.
Hey, the fucking black puffer. You been dubbed. Elder Tar dubbed you the bubble-eyed blackfish perfectly, man. Yeah, because his fucking eyes is hanging outside of the fucking skull, man.
Yeah, man.
Black Simpson. You know? Black Simpson.
He looked like them aliens from Mars Attack.
Yeah.
It came down.
And we gonna make mockery of it because you a clown, man.
Yeah.
You a straight up clown, man. You ain't the doctrine you teaching is of the devil.
That's right. And
you ain't breaking down the scriptures right. And we gonna hit Lord willing, we're gonna hit Amos 9th chapter with you. Like the brother said, you mangled. I'm sure the elders, you know, whether they do or not, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna go into it too.
This is a prelude to Elder Tahar, and they're gonna get all over.
Yeah, they're gonna get into it too.
We're gonna get over you too, motherfucker.
Well, you know what he said? Listen, he said he told the young brother. I didn't see the video yet. You told the young brother he can't prove. You can't make a doctrine prove it saying that the white man's a devil.
Got it written right.
Well, we can cut you up with a basic scripture. I want to bring up a point. Get Job 9:24.
That's the next scripture I was going to right there.
Get Job 9:24. And then somebody else, well, no, hold that. Okay, get Job 9:24. See, you know what, nigga, you're lightweight.
Right.
Really, we're not going to spend too much time on you because you're fucking lightweight.
Exactly.
We can cut you with basic scriptures.
Right, that's all
now,
I'm
the scriptures that I'm going to bring out are basic scriptures.
And he cut himself.
Yeah. You out there teaching that the white man can be saved.
Right.
And then a lot of you will say, well, you guys go into the Old Testament. We're going to go into the New Testament and we're going to go into the Old Testament.
That's right.
Because Yahweh Shai said, I come in the volume of the book.
Right.
It is written about me. And then the Yahweh Shai also said, Yahweh Shai the same yesterday and
same today and forever.
And forever. The same today, yesterday, and always.
Never changes, man.
That's right.
Never changes.
So, you know what, man? First of all, let's go into Job, man. Let's read Job 9:24 real quick.
All right. Job 9:24.
Yeah.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Now, we're going to stop. We're going to break that down, man. Instead of just reading it and running over it, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That's just deal with common sense. What nation of people has control of the planet Earth? That's common knowledge. The so-called Caucasian, Caucasian race. And we're not just talking about the American so-called white man. When you go to Russia, the Russian so-called white man is ruling another part of the planet. When you go anywhere all throughout Europe, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, France, Africa, because the so-called white man, which those are the descendants of the so-called Brits, went down to Africa because the old saying goes back, going back to the 1600s, well, further back than that, as long as the so-called British Empire has been, well, that's a whole other thing, because it was Czech Israelites who originally ruled Britain.
Right.
And then around the 1400s, when the so-called Renaissance, which means rebirth, came in, that's when the Caucasoids, or the so-called Caucasian people that black people pushed up into the mountains, started coming back into power, starting off with the Bourgeois family. Okay? When the Bourgeois family came into power in Spain in the 1400s, okay, and that's when they hired and they commissioned Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci and these different Renaissance artists to go around using iconoclasm, destroying all the dark art, because prior to the 1400s, all of Europe was, no, forget about it, let's say this, First of all, Europe was still being ruled by Jacob at that time.
That's right.
There was a certain strongholds
Esau was
that you so-called white people, the Edomites, the Caucasians, were taking the ones, and certain other strongholds because the so-called Black Death or the Black Plague and the internal fighting between the Israelites, meaning those so-called Negroes that were ruling Europe, like France and Britain, were always warring with each other.
That's right.
The Scots were fighting against the British for their independence. The Irish, which those were all so-called black people at that time, prior to the 1400s, were fighting. There was internal warfare were weakening in them, and then the Black Death, which the white man called the Black players, had you have to be black. And then anything black is dreadful, right?
Put that negativity up.
Then they call it the Dark Ages.
Yep.
And they said, why do you refer to that period of the medieval world that was like evil time? Men were void of God at that time.
Right.
They were doing this, they were going off. Then you call it the Byzantine Empire, which means backwards. Why? Because that's when the so-called blacks, so-called black people, starting at 193 AD, with Septimius Severus had begun. So in other words, you white people are the freaking devil.
That's right.
Anything where you're not in power is dark or black or backwards.
That's right.
Okay, so you stupid bubble-eyed niggas, blackfish, you don't know shit. You don't know no history. But let's go back. Let's backtrack. It said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So starting, I'm just giving you a little history lesson, nigga. 1453 to be exact is when that image that everybody knows today as being Jesus Christ, which was the son of the family or the son of the man Rodrigo, who had came into power in Spain at that time, which was a so-called Caucasian man, like Edomite. That's when that particular Borgias family came into power, which they were Edomites, and they took down the Israelites, or so-called dark people that were really ruling Spain, and put themselves up in that position. That was the so-called beginning of the Renaissance era. Renaissance means rebirth, meaning the rebirth of the so-called white man ruling in the earth, the rebirth of Esau's kingdom set up on the earth. Because prior to that time, for 1,000 years, Jacob was ruling.
Yep.
Okay, and that's what the scripture means in Revelation, the 12th chapter, when it said the earth helped the woman, because later on, people went to the archives of Europe and they found all this dark art of so-called black people ruling, because Jacob left signs of himself on the walls, in the catacombs, in the churches, man.
That's right.
You fucking devil. And the woman is talking about Israel.
That's right.
See, some man, bubble-eyed man, you fucking around with a loaded gun pointed at your face. Now,
That's right.
first of all right, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked.
That's right.
So in 1453, when the Borgias family came into power, it started off with them mostly. Esau was taking over in certain other areas too. Certain strongholds were falling that Israel, the so-called Negroes, had in Europe. But that men, the reason we always key on Spain, because that's when the image of Caesar Borgias, which was the son of Rodrigo Borgia, was put up as being the new image of Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Okay? And that was a spiritual thing on the left-hand side, because that image, once it was put up, and once Caesar Borgias posed for that image, and once that image was pushed out by Rodrigo Borgias and the so-called popes of Spain, which the original popes were black men.
That's right, Israel.
But them guys, them devils, those so-called white people took over as being the new popes, and they pushed that new doctrine of, you know what, we were the people of the Bible. They look like us. Okay? And that was a spiritual thing, and what that did was that mind fucked the whole planet after that point. After 1453, that mind fucked the whole planet. So that was the beginning of the overtaking of the whole planet Earth by the so-called white man around that time.
Can I read this for you real quick?
Yeah, break that down.
This is called the Webster's, Merriam-Webster Collegiate Dictionary. The word here, iconoclast.
Okay.
It says iconoclast, definition 1, one who destroys religious images or opposes their veneration. Number 2, one who attacks settled beliefs or institutions.
That's right. The institution prior to 1453 or prior to the 1400s of the Borgias coming into power, what was the institution? The institution was that everybody knew that so-called Negroes were the ones that were ruling. As a matter of fact, y'all want to talk about some goddamn England. And England, at that point, shit. In 1453, Jake so-called Negroes were still strongly in power
Oh,
on the throne of England.
That's right.
And it was so up until the Revolutionary War.
Yep.
You fucking asshole.
That's right.
Okay? The guy that was the king that was fighting against the colonists was a black man. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The so-called colonists, the king that they were rebelling against was a so-called black man.
King George, right?
So King George the Third,
That's right.
he was still in power. And he went and got financing, because at that time, remember, that's around that time, that's when the fucking Amalekites, so-called Jews,
Right.
the Rothschilds started springing up around that time, behind the scenes,
Moneylenders.
ripping anybody off and putting themselves in power financially. And King George went and got financing from the Rothschilds to finance his war against the colonists that was rebelling against him. And I bet you don't even know that. We were talking about that the weekend. The Brits didn't fight against the colonists. It was the goddamn the Hessians,
That's right.
which was a German mercenary army by I forgot the
The
guy's
elector
name.
of Hesse.
The Elector of Hesse.
The elector of Hesse. That's right.
King George financed the army from the Elector of Hesse. He was bankrupt, or so they say. His funds were running short, and the throne of England was bankrupt, supposedly at that point. So the British people, they wouldn't go and fight against their own family members,
Their own cousins.
their own cousins and brothers and sisters over here. So they had to get the Hessians. And they made movies bringing out about the Hessians. That movie about the headless horseman, Sleepy Hollow, they bring out that it was the Hessians, which were Germans,
That's right.
coming over. And guess what? Jake was still ruling over there in certain parts of Germany.
That's right.
And the reason why they did that, because they knew that the Brit, right, they were kin, that they wouldn't send the British country meant to go fight.
They
over
wouldn't
there
fight.
because they
wasn't
wouldn't fight
gonna
because
fight.
their cousins, their brothers, their uncles were
That's
over
right.
here. So they said, look, let's just hire out a mercenary army, just like they do today. They got mercenary groups all over Afghanistan, Iraq, and different places.
This country's not above that, but I want to step back to the major point.
Hey, and I got something real quick.
Read that.
Because the brother Elder Rakau and Elder Tazadat, they's going into the iconicalism when Esau, going into that history of when Esau came in the 1400s, right? Now this is the book of First Maccabees 3, and I'll start at 47.
Okay.
It says, 46. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Machpah over against Jerusalem, for in Machpah was a place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and rent their clothes and laid open the book of the law,
Like we're doing right now. Go ahead.
which is the Bible.
Which is the scriptures, the law. They had the scrolls back then with the law, as it's called, the law of Moses. It wasn't Moses' law, it was the Most High's law, but Moses was the one who administered it by the mouth. The Most High used Moses as a mouthpiece to administer the law. Read on.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Which is what you fucking devils did, which is what Elder Rakau was going into in that whole segment. Iconoclasm.
So they were trying to do that back then, was when the Greeks came in. Let's go back to the Maccabees.
Yep.
I want to jump back. So, because during that time of the Greeks, when the Greeks came in and took over Jerusalem, man, look, man, they were doing all kind of wickedness. They were sacrificing swine on the altars, man.
Yep.
And at that time, remember, the law was still in full effect. That's when Israel was still in power.
Yep.
You know, and them devils were making the Israelites, man, eat swine, making them eat swine, and brothers would die before they would eat that pork.
Setting up
But
the
you,
gym.
man, that nigga bubble out. I bet you eat pork. I bet you probably eating some fried shrimp, some shrimp right now. And then these are the same people that you want to save. These Greeks, which they were Edomites, they did atrocities against your ancestors. Okay, and these are the same people that you just want to forget about all that and save. These devils put themselves up as being the people of the Lord. They were trying to do it back then, but Israel wasn't going for it. And that's when the Maccabees came in and said, fuck this.
And whoop that ass.
Judas Maccabees and fuck you so-called white people up. You nigga, man, you don't even know the history. So you're a punk and you're a bitch and you're a faggot. You're going to roll up on some young brother that's not first. We've been issuing challenges to you, nigga, and all you bozos.
Right, and then the nigga, Slocky, bro, I have to cut you off.
Yeah.
And then I had another say, well, why don't you set up a thing where your teachers, we can meet, Nigga, first of all, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
And we already well, the elder from the elder to her on down, they met up with you on various of your sites and your videos.
And you run.
Right? You run, nigga. You know what time it is, man. You know what time it is because you teaching that bullshit,
And
man.
you know what?
And you prey on weak, feeble minds, man. You don't deal with men of understanding.
I'm sorry.
You're not no fucking wise men. All right, and as we cutting you in the scriptures, there's no way that Esau or no remnant of Esau is gonna make it. That's the bottom line, man.
You know what? That's okay. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Nah, brother.
You know what, man? You a fucking faggot. Because Comfy, you know what, nigga? And you know what? When we first, that was about a couple of years ago, before I really understood what you was teaching, because you know, you got a lot of bulls out there talking shit. I kind of admired you a little bit when Comfy and the niggas rolled on you.
Yeah.
But you gonna pull the same shit, right?
Yep.
When Comfy and his whole legions, his minions rolled on you, even though the shit you was teaching was bullshit, but you call yourself trying to edify Israel. I said, this dude kind of got balls, man. I said, you know, the Comfy and them. I mean, I
ain't let him intimidate
you didn't let Comfy intimidate you. So I gave you a little bit of respect for that. But then after I really checked out what you was teaching, I said, you're nothing but a fucking bozo. And that's when through the spirit of Yahweh Shah, we opened up on you. Because the scripture says be defenders of the gospel, man.
That's right.
You going off. Now, can we go back to Job?
Yep. Let me finish the last verse.
More okay.
Yep. It says, wherefore, it says, and lay open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their garments. You know,
that's right, their image. Their garments, their whole image, man, of who they are. And that's really prophetic, because Esau succeeded in that. In 1453 and all after that point. Because it started in Spain and then it went all around. But you know what? The Lord, that's why the scripture in Revelations said the earth, they could have just destroyed all the top part. But we, through the spirit of the Lord, have the icons to show today.
That's right.
Russian icons. You get that book, Russian Icons, and it shows Israelites during Russia. Their nation knows no color line.
During the dark ages. That's right. This is real quick. Isaiah 29:16.
Okay.
Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or should a thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?
Okay, I'm gonna break this down. First of all, you trying to save the goddamn devil, man.
Wait.
You got you niggas out there. The Most High is the potter, man. He's the guy that makes, he forms everything. The Lord, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. And you know what? I can go deeper on you to further show you that you don't know the scriptures, but you wouldn't even understand that, nigga. First of all, I can go in the book of St. John. I'm not glorifying. Fuck it. This is all about Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. We can go in the book of St. John, and I can go on deeper. Like, don't you know that it was Yahweh Shah and the angels that actually did the work of creating the earth? I bet you don't even know that.
That's right.
The Most High just gave the word, man. But, man, that'll be just going into outer space on your ass.
Hell yeah.
And I can go in and say something else. The Israelites were the angels that helped create this earth.
Exactly.
Man, this nigga, you fucking with a loaded shotgun in front of your face. Okay? But first of all, as the scripture said, the brother said, the Most High made the white man to be the devil. He made Esau. He made Esau to be the wicked. But you got some bonehead, fucking dog biscuit bonehead nigga like you coming along trying to undo what the Most High did. I'm going to just put it blunt in layman's terms, man. So, well, look, Lord, I know you made the white man, but we can fix him. You know what I mean? You can't. The Most High made it that way, and you can't reverse what's made to be destiny, man. Okay?
I got something real quick.
Yeah, read on.
Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil.
Now the word watching destruction onto you. Because you coming against us, you coming against other brothers, and you condemning us, and all that goes out for all you guys that making videos about us, coming against us. You doing what you're doing. You want to know why? Because it goes down to election. You guys are doing what you're doing because the Most High didn't choose you.
That's what it is.
The Most High chose 144,000 elected prophets, men. And the Most High took those men and he deemed those men to be with Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
The rest he didn't want. Give me Matthew 13:9. And the rest he didn't want. The rest he didn't want. So the rest of the guys, Satan really got the majority of everybody else.
That's right.
He said, the 144, those are your men, Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai said that. He said, look, the men that were given me by my Father, and they are mine.
Right.
Okay? And the rest of the 2/3, the Most High said, look, Satan, these are your guys. So the reason you guys are doing, you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. We know you're doing it because you're not the Most High's men anyway. You belong to Satan. You belong to Satan. The spiritual demon Satan is your father, pursuant to John 8:44.
That's right.
Yahweh Shai told you that. Right quick.
Okay.
Read Matthew 13 and 9.
Matthew 13.
And I'm going to prove what I just said. Then I'm going to go back to Job. Okay? And then we're going to go back to Job. All right? Read.
Matthew 13, verse 9. Who has ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables?
Okay, when you read the whole chapter or further up, Yahweh Shai was speaking. The Lord Yahweh Shai, that's his real name in the ancient Lashon Kodash. He was a so-called black man with dark skin and woolly hair, white woolly hair, which the white hair represents wisdom, because he was full of wisdom, pursuant to Revelations 13 and 14 and Daniel 7 and 9. Now, okay, Yahweh Shai was teaching, just like we teach, but he was teaching to multitudes of Israelites.
That's right.
Because he wasn't, hold that right quick, hold that right quick. You nigga, you said the Lord came to save everybody. Tell the doctor, give me Matthew 10 and 5.
Okay.
Okay?
Matthew 10 and 5.
Hold that. I stay right where you at.
Matthew 10, 5 and 6.
We're still going to go back to Job, but I got to, through the Spirit, I got to get that point out. All right?
It says, these 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying,
stop. These 12, Ariel, that's how Ariel used to teach.
Yeah.
This slow, we're going to break it down and go through it. Okay? So it's crystal clear how the old Ariel used to teach. That's how I was brought up to teach under Ariel.
Hey, well, Slacky, brother, with a nigga, he sits there and say that he was back there and all that.
I don't remember you, nigga.
He could tell, well, if he
I don't
does,
remember you either.
if he does, he said he was a 9-shield general.
He said it was a 9-shield.
Well, you know what, nigga?
But he condemned himself. He said, I used to teach that. He said he used to.
Well, you know what?
So you basically, you fell off.
I know what's going on. See, nigga, hey, boy, I gotta do my Hollywood Hogan again. You're a Johnny come lately.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? Okay? I was out there teaching on the camps when you were bumming gas and putting your car together in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cause
I had to throw that in there.
yeah, but that's the nigga, the thing. He sat there and talked about he's a 9-shield general.
Yeah, you know what? Check this out. But hold on.
Nine shield
But I'm going to
general.
explain that to y'all. And I'm gonna explain that to all you brothers out there in computer land. See, when I came along in the school, Elder Tahar, Elder Gabar, and myself, there were no 9-shield generals. Aha. There was no such thing as a 9-shield general. So that means, well, that's not in the scriptures. But I'm saying, I know when he came along. He came along after we already dispersed from the school.
Right.
So what does that make you, nigga? A Johnny come lately.
That's right. That's right.
By the time you came along talking that 9-shield general shit, we had already
Yeah,
departed.
yeah, you're right.
Okay? Because
Yep.
when we left the school, when we departed from 1 West, 125th Street,
Yep.
okay, at that point, we had already been in the truth for years, and at that point, the highest rank you could aspire to was 6 shield.
That's right. I remember
Because the
that.
elder shield general.
That's right.
And he was like the elder Tahar was the highest ranking so-called general in the school,
Yeah.
under
Seven.
the top 7.
That's right.
Being Elder Marshall, Lahab, I'm sorry, Satan jumping in my mouth.
Ariel.
Elder Marshall, Ariel,
Yaikwab.
Yaikwab, and at that time, Yaikwab was still on the earth.
Yep.
The whole so-called top 7 was still living. Elder Marshall, Ariel, Yaikwab, Lahab, Yeshaya, Kazak, and Shaw.
Yep.
That was the so-called top 7.
Yep.
And their rank technically was 6 shields. Or they were the top 7 at a high place. Then underneath them
It was a 6 shields.
was a 6 shield. And the only 6 shields that I can really remember, there were really only 2 under them. Elder Tahar and Ariel.
Ariel, right.
And yeah, I believe Yahana was a 6 shield too. Yahana was up in there, I believe. It was like very few 6 shields underneath the top 7.
Right.
And I know Elder Tahar was a 6 shield. And Arya, Allah, Yohana. You couldn't get no. That was the highest rank you could aspire to.
Yeah, but then they came. Then afterwards they came with
Yeah.
that 12 king shit.
Yeah, they
Right.
came with,
And
yeah,
then-
after Elder
yeah,
Marshall, and after we
yeah.
departed with Elder Marshall and established the house of David,
Right.
that's when they niggas just went nuts with the rank.
Yep.
Nah. So that's so nigga, you and Johnny come lately.
You
By the
came.
time you were in company as well. By the time you came along, nigga, you came late in the game. You came late in the game.
That's right.
You missed out on a whole bunch of a decade of stuff that we did in that school long before you came along, nigga. So you're Johnny come lately. Okay, Johnny come lately. Now let's go back to the scriptures. Where was I reading?
Matthew 10, 5 and 6.
Read that real quick.
These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded
You
them,
know what, man?
saying,
Hell with it, man. Read it. Fuck the verbatim shit,
Right.
man. We on the show. Read it with the right name.
These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
These 12, Yahushua, which means deliverer. Okay? Which means deliverer. Alright? Sent forth and commanded them. What's a commandment? A commandment is an order. You want us to read it in the dictionary? You dummy? Read on.
These 12 Yahushua sent forth, commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Go not into the way of the Gentiles. Can we look up the word Gentile right quick?
Yeah, that's beautiful too. Why the brothers getting that, because basically that nigga don't understand. That's the whole problem. He don't understand the scriptures, man. He don't understand when it's speaking about the Israelite. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm giving it away, but the Israelite foreigners versus the actual other nations.
well, we're going to read that in Matthew.
And basically, he don't know the scriptures, man.
You don't know the
He's a damn
You're a charlatan.
He's a charlatan, man.
You're a
He's
charlatan.
a nobody. He's not even really that significant.
He's
man.
a phony
But
and
for
he's looking
edification.
for attention.
But you know what? That was on video, so we have to deal with it. We have to adjust it.
And it's good too, because a lot of you brothers, you don't have to deal with these clowns too, because like the scriptures say, it's many antichrist or anti-Yahushai that have came into the world, man, or anti-Mashiach, anti the anointed.
Yeah, you're against Yahushua.
You're against Yahushua. So you got a lot of clowns out there that's teaching some bullshit doctrine like that, or some other bullshit.
Yep, I got
So
it.
you brothers got to get your minds geared up to, lock horns with them
Hold the
motherfuckers.
scriptures I told you to get.
Okay,
Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay, hold on to them things on deck.
okay, it says Gentile. It says, which they go off on it, but I'm gonna read it. It
Yeah,
says
go off.
from the French. It says French. It says Latin, gentilis.
Right.
Genus nation. It says a person of non-Jewish nation or non-Jewish faith.
Okay, they say Jewish, but what they're trying to say is Israelites or Jews.
Exactly.
Jewish, they added that Jewish shit.
Right.
Because the suffix at the end of that is pertaining to or want to be. So that the dictionary went off, it should have been a person of non-Israelite. Because who were the Jews? The Jews were one of the tribes of Israel. But it's telling you, but even though they're going off, it's still telling you Jewish or Jews, which were the Israelites. A person of what?
It says a person of non-Jewish nation
Okay, you know.
or of a non-Jewish faith.
It's like
They're going off.
And the word gentilis, if you look in the Latin dictionary, it tells you it means foreigner.
Foreigner.
That's simply what the word means. It's not in this, but if you go to a Latin dictionary, it's all in there. We have plenty of dictionary. We should have it printed out and bring it
That's
to the king.
Because you know what? You had Israelites.
Right, etymology as well.
Because like the brother said, niggas gonna come out and say, nigga, you Bubba, you do not understand the whole concept of the Israelite foreigner. The word gentilis means foreigner.
That's
Yep.
it.
You had Israelites that lived, like, you think all Israel just lived in Jerusalem, right? Furthermore, by the time Yahushua came on the earth, the other 10 tribes had already departed from the land of Israel.
And came over here.
And Yahushua went to those tribes. What do you think he meant when he told the 12 before he ascended, I have other sheep that are going to this fold? No, nigga, but he'll sit there and tell you, that's talking about the other nations.
Talking about
It's talking about the Gentiles, gentilis, foreigners, meaning the Israelites that have been separated from the rest of the body of the nation. But let's stick here real quick. Go back to Matthew real
Matthews.
quick. Okay, read.
Okay, I lost my place.
Yep,
I'll
Matthew
get it
10
back.
and 5.
I'll get it back.
You going up, nigga. You do not understand the concept, man. You don't get it. And we got a whole bunch of bullets for you, man, in the scriptures, man. Spiritual bullets.
Matthew.
Yeah, let me correct that, because then Prophet Snitchwell come back and use that word. See? You see? They said bullets. They said, see, they got a proclamation of death.
You want to kill
They want to kill that brother. No, man, that ain't right. fucking nigga. The Lord don't, man, that homosexual in Nevada.
Yeah.
So let me rephrase my words. This will be